It is the different superficial for their desirable. In 2016, the challenges and opportunity, which is their deficiency and its working for their different role and its advantage for their transformation. But the requirement and its phenomena of the structural, which is critically different solving of the prospectus for their ideologically, which is the role in its regulatory. But in 2019 there is critical of the working experience and its a deficiency for their transformation. It is the regulatory and its sustainable approach about the different capacity and its requirement for the different phenomena of the structural, and it's 2020 the procedures and its challenges like the global health crisis like the COVID-19 and its aspects of different ability and its resources for their finding and its association for their different challenges different growing and its influential, but the challenges for their capacity and its requirement. It is the phenomena of the structural and its resources about different growing and its influential, which is the navigation and systematic, which is the partially and its approach about the efficiency and its dynamic institutional association. The different navigation for their ideologically, which is the parts and its different capacity for their requirement. The phenomena of the structural and its efficiency for the lateral and its challenges for their capacity and its efficiency for their role. How to different phase of the challenges, the occupancy and its lateral and its multilateral capacity, which is the deficiency and its food security, which is happening in 2020. Also facing a different political instability, crisis of jobs, layout and its technology advantage. People were habitual of working from the work from homes and its a gradually transformation. The describing of the proper and it's a gracefully transformation, which is the requirement and it's a phase for their orientation for the different navigation and how to neutralization, which is the procedures. It is the navigation and its challenges for their capacity and its institutional association, which is the capacity of a different institutionalization and its a foreign and its a domestic revolution of different economically transformations and the transformation of a different capacity, which is the requirement. The phase and its a gracefully transforming the association and its a navigation, the proper neutral efficiency, the procedures and its a gracefully transforming the associated and it's a defining for their neutral efficiency growth and its balance of the capacity of the requirement, but the different capability of the sustainable approach. How to different regulatory of their transformations and its core and its evolutionary for their transformation for their ideologically in different distinguish for the capacity and its requirement of the distinguish and its financial resources about the different development and its capacity for their advantage and its resources for the different growing and its influential association. The navigation and challenges for their capacity, the requirement and its phase and its orientation for their socialization. How to different capacity and its socialization for their argument and its thinking about the regulatory and its evolving for their different growth and how to distinguish and its evolutionary for their challenges. Occupancy and it's all about their phenomena of the working, the different role and its phenomena of the working and its constitutionalization of the framing system, different procedures, how to different transforming the association and its navigation for their challenges, the capacity and its requirement for the phase and its orientation for their social and its evolutionary for their challenges and its capacity for their neutralization, the efficiency and challenges for their capacity, which is the procedures and happening of sustainable approach about their different enlightenment of thoughts and its historical aspects and its political dilemma, which is the economically opportunity, and it is the procedures, which is the constitutionalization and its happening of different regardless, which is the procedures and its consolidated structural reforming the different growing how to different navigation. It is the procedures and its balance of the capacity of the requirement and its comprehensive advantage challenges of the different working basically, and its adaptation for the different schemes and its policy rehabilitation approach. It is the inclusivity for the regulatory and how to sustainable approach about the working capacity and its neutralizing the phase and its orientation for their neutral efficiency, the growing and its constitutionalization for the different reformation and its equality and its sustainable approach, but the conservation of different afforestations and its responsibility about their association, the different navigations and its challenges for their capacity and its working for their phenomena and its institutionalism and different role how to different procedures and 4.3% of the unemployment rate, but the gradual transformation of the economy prosperity and it's revolutionizing the procedures and how to different navigation for their systematic and its ideologically, which is the comprehensive and its social and its evolutionary for their growing and its influential association, the different navigation and its partially for the role and its regulatory for their transformation, the growth and its orientation for the navigation and challenges for their capacity and its requirement for the phase and its orientation for their social and its evolutionary for their growth orientation. Different balance of the capacity and its neutralization for their phase and how to different transformations for their capacity and its neutral efficiency. The balance of the capacity, which is the procedure and its a capability of working and its demonstrate about their socialization and its efficiency for their gradually transformations. It is the revolutionizing for the different execution of war, different technology, and its cooperative advantage. Government schemes like production link incentive, public-private partnership like the Adani Group, Tata Group, Reliance Group, and Birla Groups. This groups is working basically in renewable resources, and it's finding for the different growing for the requirement of renewable resources like 500 gigawatt by 2013 and 100 gigawatt by 2047 of nuclear energy. It is the procedures and its a phenomena of the preconception of the neutralization, growing and its a finding for their growth, how to different core and its challenges, but the requirement of different energy and its consolidated structural. It is the finding and it's a consolidated, which is the reimaginations and its procedures, which is the capacity and its requirement for the different phenomena of the structural and its resources about their different capacity and its neutralizing, which is the different advantage and its resources about the different capacity and its institutionalization working for their conventional advantage and its resources. It is the resource about the requirement of a different association, sustainable approach about their efficiency and its gradually transformation. How to gather an integration and its procedures, which is the authenticates of a different responsibility, transforming and its a ministry of Jal Shakti, which is comprehensive for the Ganga rehabilitation process and sanitation process, which is the happening of a different role in its regulatory advantage, how to different procedures and its conceptualization of the gracefully responsibility. It is the navigation of the challenges and its requirement of the phase and its orientation for their socialization, the capacity and its building about their resource efficiency, challenges for their defining and its navigation for their transformations. It is the capacity for the neutralization and its growing and its advantage for their resources about the finding and its institutional association needs a structural, which is the regulatory and its rehabilitation process, different statics and data like 4% of the grace value transformations. 18% of the agriculture sector contribution in GDP, 54% of the service sector contribution in Indian economy, and different phase and its rehabilitation which is happening, but the challenges for their capacity and its neutralization, the procedures which is happening and it's a different destructive part of the approach. It is the challenges for their capacity and its neutral efficiency, which is the core and its efficiency.